Good morning, friends. Greetings and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of a vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body. You are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 30 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and skin diseases like eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we welcome your calls on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number. We've got a guest coming up at the bottom of the hour, Andreas Wecker, who's the founder of Andreas Seed Oils and the inventor of an interesting press for releasing oils or extracting oils from seeds. Andreas Wecker is a former gold medal winning Olympic gymnast, and he's gotten himself into the oil business. We're going to be talking to Andreas about seed oils and about his press at the bottom of the hour. He's got some interesting things to say about essential fatty acids and oils. We'll be talking to Andreas at the bottom of the hour. So we'll get your phone calls here in our second segment today. 844-236-6010 is our number if you have questions or comments, or if you just want to share a success story. We love hearing those. 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase any of our Truth Skin Health products, including our Truth 5% retinol gel, if you're dealing with hyperpigmentation, aging, accelerated aging, or age spots, or you just want an overall skin tonic without having to deal with preservatives or fragrances or oils or waxes or fillers or emulsifiers or surfactants or water or any of the stuff that you find in most skincare products. 90 to 95% of your skincare product is not for you, has nothing to do with the health of your skin. If you're interested in 100% active and functional skin health ingredients, if you don't want to waste any money on fillers and waxes and oils, etc., preservatives and fragrances, check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. And of course, if you want to sign up to join me in my mission to educate the world about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program, if you want to make some money while you're doing it, please call 866-735-2470. That's the phone number for the Brightside Ben team. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team or purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program or recommended on the program by going to my website, brightsideben.com. You can also check out our blog, pharmacistben.com and criticalhealthnews.com. You can sign up on all the websites, or you can purchase products off all the websites as well. brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you're on hold, we'll get your calls here in our second segment. And then if you'd like to speak to us, we do have a couple lines open for you at 844-236-6010. Okay, so I want to continue talking about the sugars, which are the building blocks of the fibers, the insoluble and soluble fibers, which are like chains of sugar. Yes, we're talking about the ketogenic diet still. We're talking about fats and the importance of fats, but via this fiber connection, there is an interesting relationship between sugar and fat. In fact, sugar and fat are really the same thing. They're both carbohydrates. Sugar is a carbohydrate. Fat is a carbohydrate. Fat's a little bit longer, a little bit bigger molecule than most sugars are, but basically they're carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. That makes them a carbohydrate, technically. Nonetheless, when we think of sugars, we don't typically think of fats, and vice versa. When we think of fats, we don't typically think of sugars, but via this connection, this fiber link, sugar and fat are connected. If you're going to go high fat, you got to make sure you're using your fiber. Fiber is basically just a long chain of sugars. Yesterday, we left off talking about the essential sugars. These are what some people call glyconutrients. Glyco means sugar, nutrient means nutrient, something that's useful for the body. And, that's kind of a weird idea because we're always beating up on sugar. We're always thinking that sugar is the bad guy, and in a way it is because we get way too much of one of the glyconutrients. We get way too much of one of the essential nutrients or essential sugars. And this is, of course, the most well-known of the sugars called glucose. Got 8 major essential sugars, 8 major glyconutrients. The one everybody knows about, the one we get so much of, the one that we beat up on a lot for good reason, is the glyconutrient or the essential sugar called glucose. Most of us get way too much of this stuff. Although, I have to say, arguably anyway, it is the most important, certainly one of the most important biomolecules, biochemicals in the body. Yesterday we talked about mannose, another essential sugar or glyconutrient. Mannose is useful for urinary tract infections, as we said yesterday. It's also got a role to play in brain health and the health of the nervous system. Mannose has anti-inflammatory properties, and it can also help lower blood sugar, and it can also help lower blood fats, both of which make mannose useful if you're going to go ketogenic. If you want to go into the ketogenic diet, you can get mannose capsules or mannose supplements. Usually they sell mannose for urinary tract infections, but given all the benefits that you get from this essential sugar, supplementing with mannose is not a bad idea, particularly if you're going to go ketogenic. Yesterday, we left the program off talking about a third essential sugar, and this one is super duper important. We're going to spend some time talking about this one. It's tremendously valuable for the health of the intestine as well as for the skin. And this is really an important point because anytime something is good for the lining of the intestine, it's going to also have an important role to play in the skin. Both the lining of the intestine and the surface of the skin are made up of the same type of cells. So anything that's going to heal your gut, heal your intestine, is going to have some benefits for the skin too, and thus the importance of N-acetyl or acetyl glucosamine. Sure, you've heard of glucosamine. Almost everybody has heard of glucosamine, but at the same time, hardly anyone has heard of N-acetylglucosamine, and while they both contain a little chunk of glucosamine, they are different. N-acetylglucosamine, found in the brain, thyroid, liver, intestine. It's found in the sebaceous glands in the skin. It's found in the skin itself. It's found in the blood vessels. It plays an important role in the health of all of these structures, as well as in circulatory system health. It's crazy important, and considering the fact that so few people have heard of this stuff, it really is it's something that we really want to talk about, at least for the next few days. Glucosamine, as most people know, is an anti-arthritis substance, but N-acetylglucosamine, while it does contain glucosamine and it can be helpful for folks dealing with arthritis, that NA part, N-acetyl, the NA part that's associated with glucosamine makes NAG very, very, very important for the digestive tract. Now, glucosamine itself is going to play a role in the health of the intestine, but N-acetylglucosamine, NAG, by putting that little NA part on there, that makes NAG crazy important for digestive health. It's, in my opinion, it's a must-have. And you say, well, how come you haven't talked about it so much? Well, I have. I've talked about it a lot, but I just never said it specifically, because you see, whenever we talk about bone soup, whenever we talk about bone broth protein, which you could find, by the way, at brightsidehealthproducts.com, brightsidehealth.com, anytime we talk about bone soup or bone broth or cartilage, in a lot of ways, we're talking about NAG because cartilage contains high amounts of NAG, and this is one of the reasons why cartilage and bone soup are so important for the health of the digestive tract. If you're dealing with celiac disease, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, any digestive health issue, bone broth, bone soup, bone broth protein are must-haves. And one of the reasons they're must-haves is because of their NAG content. If you're dealing with any digestive health issues, bone broth protein, NAG, and there's also some wonderful plant material that contains NAG as well. We're going to be talking about this wonderful nutritional supplement for the next few days. If you're on hold, hang tight. We'll get to you when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You are listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We are back on The Bright Side. Thanks for joining us, friends. We're on the air Monday through Friday 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time. We're also archived at brightsideben.com and benfuchsarchives.com. Got search engines up. Thank you to Peter in the UK for setting that one up, benfuchsarchives.com. And you can check out all the programs. We've got 4+ years of archives at brightsideben.com and also benfuchsarchives.com. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended on the program, you can go to brightsideben.com or criticalhealthnews.com or pharmacistben.com. And of course, if you're interested in our Truth Skin Health products, Truth Retinol 5% Gel for anti-aging, Truth Serum and Truth Balm for anti-aging and for healing as well. Both wonderful sources of vitamin C, moisturizing and skin softening, and our Truth Omega-6 Healing Cream if you're dealing with rashes or broken skin or sunburn, diaper rash for a baby. Our Omega-6 Healing Cream is tremendously healing, and I've been working with vitamin C for healing now, for topical vitamin C for healing, for over 30 years. You can check out all our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. We're going to talk to Andreas Wecker at the bottom of the hour. Andreas is a former gold-winning gymnast, German gymnast, Olympic gold medal-winning German gymnast, and he's also now in the seed oil business, and he's invented a machine that, according to Andreas anyway, and he'll tell us more about it in the next segment, according to Andreas Wecker, this new machine doesn't create the same kind of damage to the oils that ordinary presses do. This is a very important point about oils, and this is something Dr. Wallach talks about a lot, and that is the fact that they're very fragile and they're very unstable. And in the world of nutrition, when something is good for you, it's high energy, got lots of nutritional value, sometimes it's very unstable. There's a relationship between instability and high energy, and substances that are high energy are good because they're high energy, but they're bad because they're unstable. And so making sure that your nutritional supplements and the nutritional components in food are stable is really, really important. That's why you don't want to use a lot of heat. That's why you don't want to burn your meat. That's why you don't want to heat oils, that's for sure. And you don't want to process oils. And even according to Andreas Wecker anyway, even ordinary presses can damage oil. And he invented a machine that somehow, and he'll tell us more about it, somehow it doesn't have the same kind of high pressure that ordinary presses do. And it maintains the integrity of the oil a little bit better. And we'll be talking to Andreas at the bottom of the hour. Let's see, time to hit your phones. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about N-acetylglucosamine. And I absolutely love this stuff, even though you never hear about it. It's got so many health benefits. And as we'll find out in the next day or two, it's also very, very important as an anti-aging ingredient for the skin. Okay, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let us go to Todd in Florida. Good morning, Todd. Welcome to the Bright Side.
How are you, Ben?
Hey, buddy. What's going on, man?
Well, what I'm calling for someone else who has a problem with yeast infection. And another question also is about birth control. What are the side effects or the consequences of taking birth control?
They're awful. It's two important questions there. Now, I assume you mean a vaginal yeast infection, right? Not a fungal.
Right.
All right. I think bacteria. There's a major relationship for all yeast infections, internal or vaginal. It doesn't really matter. There's a major relationship, an important relationship between bacteria and fungus. You know, fungus live in our body, and fungus are an important part of good health. Yeast are a very important part of good health. I want to be very clear here, because we get this idea that yeast are the bad guys and you got to eliminate them. No, that's not how it works. Yeast are an important part of good health. They're an important constituent. They're an important citizen of the human body. It's when the yeast overgrow. Bacteria likewise. Bacteria are an important part of good health, as most people know by now. Certainly if you're listening to this program, you know bacteria are an important part of good health, but you don't want them to overgrow, and you don't want the wrong kinds to overgrow, and you don't want the wrong kinds to grow. It all has to do with balance. When you have a yeast infection, you have a problem not with yeast, but with the balance of yeast and the relationship between yeast and bacteria. So all yeast infections need to be regarded, systemic or vaginal, as a sign of dysbiosis, which means messed up bacteria. Now, certainly sugar is involved. I'll talk about that here in a second. But the first thing you want to do if you're dealing with a yeast infection infection, if it's a vaginal yeast infection, well, any yeast infection, is to work on your digestive system. Surprise, surprise, especially when it comes to good bacteria. Now, you can supplement with good bacteria, but if you're doing anything to kill off those good bacteria, the yeast are going to overgrow. So if you got a digestive problem, you're eating the wrong foods, you got leaky gut syndrome, chances are you're dealing with messed up bacteria. Long story short, use probiotics, use fermented foods, caloric restriction, vegetable juices. These are all strategies for improving the health of the gut, of the intestine, and then reducing your sugar intake dramatically. Sugar feeds yeast, and we're all getting too much sugar. And of course, you know, if you're listening to this program, that bread is sugar, and cereal is sugar, and pasta is sugar, and potatoes are sugar, and rice is sugar, and certainly fruit juices and fruits and desserts are sugar. Anything you could do to reduce sugar load is going to improve yeast infections. A couple other things that you might want to do is use supplements that help the body process sugar. The B vitamins, of course, are the most important, or among the most important. Thiamine and niacin, especially. You can use the Ultimate Niacin. The Sweeties from Longevity, selenium, the Fuchs Z has anti-diabetic or anti-sugar properties. Go to the health food store and get alpha lipoic acid, 400 milligrams a day. Taurine, which is an amino acid, maybe 200 or 300 milligrams a day, and arginine, another amino acid that can help the body process sugar. There's tons more stuff, but basically you're looking at controlling or stabilizing or modifying bacteria in the gut using all the things we talk about on this program all the time, including a good probiotic supplement, and then sugar metabolizing nutrients, as well as reducing your sugar intake. Birth control pills are awful, except for one thing. They do control birth. And if you're going to be sexually active, they can be handy-dandy, no doubt about it. But they are major hormones. They trick the body hormonally, and that is there's going to be a price to pay whenever you trick the body, especially at a fundamental level like hormones. That's why birth control pills are associated with blood clots. That's why they're associated with heart disease. That's why they're associated with cancer. That's why they're associated with migraine headaches. That's why they're associated with every crappy thing that can happen to the body, pretty much. Oh yeah, skin problems too. So here's the deal. If you need birth control, you need birth control, and they're handy. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't take birth control pills for PCOS or for cramping, though. That's why doctors sometimes use birth control pills, and that's a very bad idea. But if you need birth control, you know, if you're going to be fooling around and you don't want to deal with the alternatives, they are handy. But you are playing with fire, in my opinion, if you use them. Thanks for your call, Todd. I got to motivate. Got a bunch of calls here, okay? I hope I helped you out, bro. Take care, man. All right, let's go to Kathy in Minnesota. Good morning. What's up? Welcome to the bright side.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Kathy.
Hi, I am currently breastfeeding, and I have a bunch of digestive issues that have been happening, including a facial rash around my nose and mouth area.
Did you have them before?
No.
Oh, you got them once you delivered your baby?
Yeah, he is 20 months, so
okay,
just within the last 2 months, I've started having digestive issues and now this facial rash.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, you may be you may be deficient in nutrients, especially fatty nutrients. They may be coming out in your breast milk, and you may be losing them. So you want to make sure you're supplementing if you're not already, especially with essential fatty acids. Secondly, you may have issues with your intestine in terms of bacteria, good bacteria. That sounds like dysbiosis to me. So I'd be getting on a good probiotic. That means messed up bacteria, by the way, dysbiosis. I'd be getting on a good probiotic supplement, and then do a food diary and see what foods are specifically causing you problems. Kathy, if you can hold on just 1 second, I'll finish up when we come back from our break, okay? Don't go away. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll come back with Andrea Swecker and then finish up with Kathy's phone call when we come back from our break. You're listening to The Bright Side. We are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're talking to Kathy in Minnesota. We're just going to finish up real quickly, Kathy, and then I want to get our guest on, Andrea Swecker, former gold medal winning Olympic athlete. I guess he's not a former gold medal winning Olympic athlete, gymnast, but he's also a skin oil guy, and he's invented an oil press that conserves the power of skin of essential fatty acids and the good fats that are found in oils, those fragile fats. We'll talk to Andrea here in a moment. Kathy, real quick, as far as your gut health goes, do we have Kathy? Are you there, ma'am?
Yep.
Okay. So as I said before we went to our break, make sure you're using essential fatty acids whenever you have a skin health issue, especially if you're breastfeeding. You may be losing those essential fatty acids, and skin health and essential fatty acids go hand in hand. So make sure you're using those, and then start working on your gut, probiotics, as well as vegetable juices. The fiber in vegetable juices supports gut health. You may want to go ketogenic, the ketogenic diet too. That can be helpful.
Yeah, can I do that while I'm breastfeeding?
Yeah, you can certainly do it when you're breastfeeding. Babies are in ketosis. Okay, babies are in ketosis. Your breast milk is ketogenic anyway, so yes, you certainly can go ketogenic. And then also make sure that you're doing a food diary, linking your digestive health issues to specific foods. Your digestive health issues to specific foods. That's very important. And then let's see what else I want to tell you here.
I guess that was my main question. I've read
vitamin E also. One last thing, vitamin E can be helpful. 400 international units a day of vitamin E.
I guess my concern was that if I switch my diet, that I would lose my supply for breastfeeding, because that's a lot of what I read, but that's not true.
Say that one more time.
I was reading about the ketogenic diet, and they advised not to do it while you were breastfeeding.
Because of the low carb? Because of the low carb? Well, I'm not sure necessarily if that's the case, but you're going to have to make your own decisions on that. Ketogenesis, a lot of people think that ketone production is some kind of abnormal state, but it's not. I would personally I don't think that there's a problem with the ketogenic diet. You're going to have to make your own decision on that. But keep in mind, breastfeeding is ketogenic. Newborn babies are in ketosis. That's their normal state. The only issue would be, and this is maybe what people are thinking, that you're not going to have enough sugars, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. If you got enough protein, your body can convert that into sugar. I don't think that's an issue. You'll have to make your own decision. Okay. All right. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. Good luck with everything. All right. I'm very excited to have our guest on here. Andreas Wecker is a gold medal winning Olympic athlete, and now he's come to understand the power of oils and nutrition. I don't know, maybe he understood it before, but Andreas has invented actually a machine that helps conserve the active materials in oils, which are unstable, as we've talked about many times on this program. Please welcome to the bright side, Andreas Wecker. Good morning, Andreas.
Morning, Ben.
Good to talk to you. So we don't have a heck of a lot of time, and you have a wonderful story. Real briefly, how did you get to understand the power of essential fats? Is it something that you knew about as an athlete, or did you develop an understanding of it after your athletic career? Tell us a little bit about how you got into it.
Okay, so the main thing was I took over the last 14 years of my career, so I was in total in 4 Olympics. I was 28 years I spent of my life in gymnastics. So, and when I stopped, I took the last 14 years of those 28, I took on a daily basis painkiller. So ibuprofen, diclofenac, all kinds of things. And it was like a ritual, so morning and in the midday, to get over the day, because gymnastics is a hard sport on your body, on the joints and everything, and somehow you have to overstay every day, and you train. It's a hard sport you train every day on your limit, on your physical limit, on your mental limit, everything.
You mean you push yourself to that edge, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's every day. So that's when you want to be Olympic champion, you want to win something, you have to go this far. But you go over problems. There is no gymnast in the world who's Olympic champion and say they don't take painkiller. Yeah. So
really, hang on one second. Are you saying all gymnasts, Olympic gymnasts, are on some kind of painkiller?
Yes.
Wow. And now you're talking about aspirin as a painkiller. You're not necessarily talking about opioids or anything like that.
No. Ibuprofen. Aspirin is sometimes just to wake you up with a nice coffee.
Okay. You wake up in the morning with a little aspirin when you're a gymnast?
No more. As a gymnast, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in the country of aspirin, so.
Okay, that's true. You did, Germany, the country of aspirin.
Yep. And when I stopped in 2004, I stopped also to take my painkiller. So. And a year later it starts, I get, constipation, then sometimes diarrhea, and then in 2006, I got very, very sick. So I got Crohn's disease.
Oh, wow.
And it was almost killing me. So in 2006, I had no idea from oils at this point. Absolutely no idea. I was working on a couple things what had to do with oils, so I was starting actually to look into it. But the main issue was not, I couldn't see any further. So, and everything was based on those grinders. So I tell you a little bit later. But what I want to say is, I got so sick, I was losing in six weeks of diarrhea, bloody diarrhea. I lost 80% of my blood, and I lost 45 pounds. So I was 84 pounds left when I came in the hospital. And the first thing what they do is take the blood, right?
Okay.
So I was falling unconscious, and he tried to pick me up or to wake me up in like an hour. And then they found out what my problem was. So I was on intensive care, and they put me, I think, on 5, after another 5 blood transfusion. So I got on the first night already 5 blood transfusions. So it was a lot.
Wow.
So and then I was in total 7 weeks in the hospital. Spent a lot. Was like a guinea pig, colonoscopy. They going up from the mouth in, from the bottom in. I mean, it was ridiculous.
And you were fine, and you were healthy. You were perfectly healthy while you were an athlete. So you didn't notice any of this stuff until, wow.
No. I had already this. Sometimes I had already problems. I was very, very sensitive. I just was, as a child already, sensitive with my stomach. So if I eat something wrong or so, I got right away diarrhea or I get constipated. And so I had already, I'm sensitive type, so emotional and so on. That's a lot what is actually playing with it. Okay. So, but what I want to say is, it was hard for me to understand that the doctors couldn't help me. So I was kind of helpless. Or they was helpless in a hospital. They was actually helpless to help me.
So you had to help yourself.
Yes, but it cost me a couple of weeks to find out, and I had no iron left, so my heart beat at the normal when I was laying down was about, I would say, 120, 130.
So you were a sick guy there, Andreas Wecker. Hey, Andreas, we got to take a break. I'm sorry. Very fascinating story. Hang tight, and we'll finish up when we come back. Okay, we are back on the bright side talking to Andreas Wecker, gold medal winning Olympic athlete and now nutritionist, I guess. Andreas, is that fair to say? You're a nutritionist? You understand about nutrition?
I'm not a nutritionist.
Not a nutritionist. No. Okay. No. All right. So let's talk a little bit. I love your story, but I also love the invention, that your oil invention. So I want to switch gears here a little bit and talk about the machine, and then talk about your oils as well. So tell us about the machine first of all.
Okay, so the machine came into existence to a dream. So I got a dream, and I was starting already. I had worked with a very small machine already, but I figured out something is wrong. Okay, so, and then I got this dream, and I was looking 2 months for like a mechanic to catch my idea and to create a new press. So, and that's what we did. So, and that was 9 years ago, and since 7 years, I'm running this machine.
What's so special? Yeah,
Okay, the difference between a normal expeller press and my expeller press is very, very simple. All expeller presses are on the market are actually not presses, they are grinders. So what they do, they fill up the room inside, and they grind to specific knives on the expeller in the front, and they grind the seats against the seat. So what you do, you have a lot of friction, you change the molecular structure, and you have a lot of oxidation you bring in. And that's the main problem. So the most oils what coming out, even if it is just like 110, 120, 130 degrees, it doesn't matter. It is already oxidized, not just by by heat, but it's already molecular structured or changed by this principle. So, and the normal press company, like Barleans, Udo's, or whatever you can take, they have to change their expeller all 3 months.
Because they're damaged.
Exact. So my principle is totally simple. I don't fill up anything in between. So I just bring it to the front, and it's working like almost like an hydraulic press. So we have about 50 tons on the front. So, and this is screeching out in a fraction of a second. There's no change of structural molecular structure, and we have the cleanest, most tasty oil on the planet. So when an oil tastes like the seed, that's an indicator for you to. If it is not tasting like a seed, don't touch it. Very simple.
If it doesn't taste like a seed, you're saying if the oil itself doesn't taste seed-like, then you don't want to eat it. That it's rancid or it's oxidized.
Absolutely. Then there's something wrong.
How about capsules? How about when they're in gel caps?
Yeah, the problem is you have the gel capsule. They have still the oxygen goes in.
In through the gel.
You when you take like a EPA or something like this, those capsules, right, or flexi capsules,
right.
Then you burp. And when you burp, it's a typical sign there's something wrong with the oil,
Interesting.
Because the body want to get rid of something. So when it's oxidized, it's bad for you.
Well, that's rule of thumb, I would say. If it's oxidized, it's bad for you. That's a good way of looking at it. Now, you focus on seed oils. Do you also use other kinds of oils like fish oil or anything like that?
Yeah, I have one from Stephen, my partner.
Stephen Ewer.
Yeah, it's very nice too. So it's not. I'm not. What do you call it? Cursing any other oils. Also, I just want to tell you that the oil I make is also there's no oxidation. So this process we don't oxidize. There's zero oxidation. We have protocols from laboratories. Laboratories was calling me in the beginning. They were saying this is not possible. This oil.
And you can taste the difference. You can taste the difference.
You definitely taste the difference. You feel the difference, and I mean, it's food. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about medication, but was it not Hippocrates who was saying food should be a medicine and medicine should be a food?
That's exactly right.
That's how I see it.
Now, do you use vitamin E at all?
Food.
I'm sorry. Do you use vitamin E at all to preserve the oil?
Very, very simple. Each oil has vitamin E, but the most vitamin E in my oils has the sunflower. The sunflower seed is very, very high in vitamin E, and you can cook also with it. So it's a funny part.
You can cook with your oils, you're saying?
Not all the oils, just the sunflower.
Because of the vitamin E.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, now you have 6 or 7 different oils, correct?
8. Actually,
8 oils.
I have
8 oils. And by the way, for the listeners, you can find out more about it at sacredseedoils.com, sacredseedoils.com, and you can find out all about these oils. And also, Andreas, you have a website too. Would you give that out real quick?
AndreasSeedOils.com.
AndreasSeedOils.com or Sacred Seed Oils. So tell us a little bit about SacredSeedOils.com. Tell us a little bit about the different oils that you have and why anybody would choose one over the other.
Okay, each oil has a different structure or information from the seed. Okay, so if you take the different oils, for example, I tell you first what oils I have. I have sunflower oil, I have flaxseed oil, a pumpkin seed oil, black sesame oil, very famous in Asian kitchen. I have black cumin oil. I'm the only one who can press coriander. The seed
coriander
of cilantro.
oil.
Yes, it's amazing. It's so amazing.
Are these are these also delicious oils as well as being healthy? Would you say? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. I have a 5-seed blend because people was asking me. I have to buy always five bottles. Can you put it in one? So I put it, and it's actually a runner because it gives you a lot of energy. So I mix it before. I don't mix it afterwards. I mix it before with the seed and press it as one molecule. And hemp seed as number 8. So
and these can be used like on food, on potatoes and salad and that kind of stuff, in addition to being as a supplement.
The pumpkin is very famous for salad. So I have a lot of chefs on the pumpkin. They like the pumpkin. They like the sunflower very much because it has the taste of the sunflower. So and when they make their dressing.
Go ahead.
What's the question?
I was going to ask you, how long are these oils good for?
I give a year minimum without refrigeration because I have it in a special bottle, Miron glass. I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I know about Miron glass.
If you know Miron? Okay.
Oh,
and I was the first one in the United States, it was more than 8 years ago, who started to bring oils in a nice bottle, which is also stabilizing, which is keeping the oil in a good. So you don't have to refrigerate my oils. Yeah.
You don't have to refrigerate them at all? I mean, will that extend the lifespan if you do refrigerate them?
No. The thing is, the refrigeration is just necessary for the oils who was oxidized. If you have other companies, they have between 3 and 10% of oxidation of peroxide. The peroxide number is very high. We have 0.01, we have 0.02, something like this. Yeah. So there's zero oxidation. When you don't have oxidation and you preserve it in this bottle, and it's not contacting any plastic, that was very important for me. Then you can keep it. I had bottles from 5 years ago, and they are still good.
And they don't oxidize over time. Don't they increase? Don't you have a little oxidation over time? Not at all.
No, absolutely no.
That's fascinating.
We had from 2 years old flaxseed oil bottles. We made a test, and they still had zero oxidation.
That is very, very impressive, Andres. And you attribute it all to your press. And you attribute it to the
process.
It's the process. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so we're out of time, Andreas. One more time on your website.
My website?
Andreas? Yeah, your website.
AndreasSeedOils.com. But I want to bring everybody to Sacred Seed Oils.
SacredSeedOils.com, right. SacredSeedOils.com to purchase the product if you want to learn more about Andreas and his work. AndreasSeedOils.com, is that right?
Yeah, you get, yes, but Sacred Seed Oils, you get also more specific because my partner, Steven, he's a nutritionist, and that's the perfect match for both of us.
Good deal.
He's more describing how everything works together. I cannot describe it because I'm a nutritionist, okay?
Okay, that's
so,
great. And Steven is
perfect.
Stephen is a good friend and also a great guy, and definitely has the best interest of the human race in mind, and I love Stephen for that. Thank you so much, Andreas. Appreciate it. Good to talk to you. And if you want to purchase any of Andreas's oils, go to SacredSeedOils.com. That's SacredSeedOils.com. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side, friends. Tomorrow we'll continue talking about the essential sugars, specifically N-acetylglucosamine, and why you want to use this stuff for your skin and how you can use it for your skin. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have an awesome, wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.